try to avert something like that from happening?
Okay, number one, it's not my responsibility to fix that. That's the people. We got the Battle of Athens, okay? The Battle of Athens is that the people must take back the voting process. My job is to awaken the people, let them know. Number two, I'm never going to cheat to win, ever. It's not going to happen. No one, and everybody knows that works for me, my campaign knows we don't cheat. We're going to win, and we're going to win on our terms. Number three, I'll never stop. I'll never go away. I will eventually be a leader in this state, elected legally, if it's not this time. But I mean, I am the next governor of Nevada. Statistically, I can see it happening. I didn't make any claims like that before. I expect hackers to do a couple things. I expect American people to see that the ballot box, which is in a digital form now, has been stolen. I expect them to follow the example of the World War II veterans that came home in 1946 in Athens, Georgia, saw the ballot boxes were being stolen by the local government and the sheriff's department, and they went to the armory, got the weapons out of the armory, stormed the building, got the ballot boxes out, and made sure that the proper people were elected. Now, we're not going to have the same kind of battle that way, but we can see that the hackers are going to make a move, and that is the next move, and that the Republicans, and I can feel that I know this is correct, Republicans and Democrats will reject voting machines when they see themselves lose elections devastatingly to people like myself, not because I endorse or I encourage hackers to go in and change voting results, but because they will, because Americans are not going to put up with this. And no one around the world will. The next battlegrounds are technological. When you think about drones, you can hack a drone and misdirect it. All these types of technology that the government's going to use against us, that the establishment uses against us, will be turned against them. So those are kind of my answer to that. Mm-hmm.
So the last question is, when you do win, so how are you going to influence the way that Nevada is run? Because you have to remember, every state has bloated bureaucracies.
Yeah.
And if you're the governor, it's going to be really difficult to try to limit the amount of spending, trying to cut all this corporate welfare and whatnot. Even conservative governors are having problems with that. Governors in Louisiana, and then you could say Texas. I mean, they're still corporatists.
Well, you have to get people – you have to make a win-win situation. You have to make sure that people are all making money and are all prospering. That's how you get it done. I mean, if you open up floodgates, the fact of the matter is that when people make more money, they pay more taxes. And the fact of the matter is that when you cut taxes – you increase the amount that you receive in tax dollars, because economically the reality is that when private citizens are able to keep more of their resources, they are far more creative than the government. It tends to be as a general rule. Now, I believe that the governments are bloated with wealth. If you've heard of comprehensive annual financial reports, are you familiar with that?
They're basically financial reports of the states, right?
Well, they're all governments. So you have a variety of governments in your state. You've got state, county, town, city. You've got all these schools, government entities that take in money, court systems. They take in money. I mean, they bring in vast amounts of money. They set aside in funds, but they don't ever talk about it during the budgets. And so they've set aside. If you go to a website called Kafferman.com, it broke it down state by state. In 2003, Nevada had $3.6 billion set aside in funds that were controlled by governments throughout the state. And every state has billions of dollars that governments already have this investment income. They have enterprise income, they have investment income, and then they have tax income. Taxes are just one source of revenue for states or for governments, period. And so if you give your governments and your bureaucracies a way to enjoy using and capitalize on that revenue. I mean, they take in that revenue and then they invest it in the private sector. So there is a very important relationship between the government and the private sector. You have to make it a win-win relationship instead of a predatory relationship. Because right now what we've got is fascism, where specific corporations are granted rights by the government, granted funding, instead of more equal playing ground. You've got to, I really believe absolutely that if people are given a way to win in a coordination theory, we call it coordination game theory as opposed to zero-sum game theory where there has to be a loser. In coordination, the more we work together, the more we all win. And so you can actually create forms of government, and that's part of the platform. If you go to NevadaGovernor2014.com, you can go to the issues page. And we'll talk about this on TV. I've got a TV show called Occupy Freedom, and so I'll be doing TV segments on it. But position, let's see here. We've got position 7 here. We've got position 6 is to stop payments to the IRS until they can prove exactly what benefits we're receiving for that. And then position 7 is replacing and phasing out taxation. So you can operate under what's called a fiduciary trust management principle. So the governments are able to function and be self-sustaining rather than predatory on business. So you can if you phase out corporate tax, but you also increase the revenue in the government, it is absolutely possible in modern day. It is absolutely possible in modern day to do that.
Yeah, the only thing is the left is probably going to throw a fit. Maybe some of the Republicans as well would throw a fit if you were ever allowed to do something like that.
Well, they're losers then. I think the people will. I mean, if you do something that is a win-win situation and you can present it to people and they can understand it and they can become a part of it and become invested in it, that's my job. The job of a real leader is to awaken the people and give them the information, let them make the choice. I mean, okay, if you want to be in bondage, this is what you choose. You got to make it plain to people, their situation. So giving truth to people and letting them make their own decisions and loving them unconditionally, regardless of those choices. So I think that's what a good leader is going to allow people to live their lives, even if that means continuing to elect people that treat them and slap them around like a $5 crack whore.
Indeed, and I do wish you the best of luck. And if people want to help you out, how could they do so and visit your website?
So you just go to NevadaGovernor2014.com, and you can put your email address in to subscribe to the newsletter. You can also get involved, and you can volunteer. There's a Get Involved tab where you can volunteer to be an activist for the campaign in a variety of ways, the way that's most comfortable to you. You can also donate money. All those things will help because we'll use the donations to print out cards, signs, tour the state. If we can get one state, to get back on the track of freedom, then the other states will follow. People will make choices. We're going to have a major financial collapse in this country, so I hope that people make choices to prepare and that states will choose their own destiny to become more free. And so I encourage you to go there, go over the positions, and we'll have a forum there in the near future where you can exchange ideas at the site there.
And you also have a YouTube channel, correct?
That's right. The YouTube channel is taken off very well. It's just my name, David Lory, is the username. If you just go to YouTube and you search David Lory VanDerBeek, you'll find the channel very easily, and you can subscribe, of course, there. I put up new videos of radio interviews. Yours will be linked there, but TV episodes, things like that. All the things that we need to do to win. In a modern campaign, you've got to have TV presence, radio, internet, and then be included in the polls, be included in the debates, and then hopefully get some big donations or the significant amount of donations. And if we execute that plan, I'll have no problem becoming the next governor, and we'll do what we can from there.
All right. Best of luck, and thanks for coming on again.
Thanks a lot, Ro.